Welcome to CBS This Morning. We begin with this. Nothing fun about it at all. Hours before today's public impeachment hearings, there are new revelations from an official who says that they overheard a call to President Trump in a restaurant. 4 officials will testify today, including 3 who have firsthand knowledge of the July 25th call at the center of this inquiry between President Trump and the president of Ukraine.
This latest bombshell from closed-door testimony is about a call from the next day. State Department official David Holmes says he heard the president ask EU Ambassador Gordon Sondland about something called the investigation. Nancy Cordes is on Capitol Hill for us. Nancy, good morning. What else did we learn?
Good morning. Well, Holmes says that he remembers this call from a Ukrainian cafe so vividly because he had never seen anything like it. Quote, someone calling the president from a mobile phone at a restaurant and then having a conversation of this level of candor and colorful language. But it's what Holmes had to say about what the Ukrainians knew about the holdup in military aid that is poking holes in the president's defense. The newly released transcript shows career diplomat David Holmes told lawmakers that the Ukrainians gradually came to understand that they were being asked to do something in exchange for a meeting between President Trump and President Zelensky and the security assistance hold being lifted. It's unclear exactly when the Ukrainians became aware, but President Zelensky has claimed he never felt any pressure.
Nobody pushed me, yes.
In other words, no pressure.
Holmes's testimony contradicts one of the GOP's main arguments.
I trust the fact that the Ukrainians didn't know that aid had been held and Ukrainians did nothing to get it released when it was released.
Today's testimony will involve 3 witnesses who were on the July 25th call, where President Trump pushed Zelensky to look into former Vice President Joe Biden and his son. Jennifer Williams, a State Department aide detailed to the vice president's office, described the call as unusual and inappropriate. Lieutenant Colonel Alexander Vindman, a National Security Council official, said he did not think it was proper. And the president's top Russia advisor, Tim Morrison, said he had concerns too, but didn't think anything illegal was discussed. California Democrat Jackie Spear.
I think you'll hear from all of them that this was like a bombshell in the White House when it happened. This call was not just not normal. This call was bad.
The 4th witness, Ambassador Kurt Volker, was one of the so-called 3 amigos, officials with a direct line to President Trump, who unofficially took over Ukraine policy just before Mr. Trump froze hundreds of millions in aid to Ukraine. Undersecretary of State David Hale's testimony was also released overnight. He said Secretary of State Mike Pompeo was most likely the person who decided not to publicly support former Ambassador Marie Yovanovitch when she was the target of a smear campaign led by Rudy Giuliani.
This is not a time to undercut our diplomats.
Pompeo again declined to specifically defend Yovanovitch yesterday.
I always defend State Department employees. It's the greatest diplomatic corps in the history of the world. Very proud of the team.
Holmes, who overheard that phone call, also testified that he thought it was surprising that Sondland used his cell phone to call the president of the United States, because at least 2 of the 3 mobile networks in Ukraine are owned by Russian companies, and so Americans typically assume that the Russians are listening in. That's another question that Sondland will have to answer when he testifies here tomorrow. Tony.
A lot of people looking forward to that. Nancy, thank you very much.